Have you ever used your computer and all of a sudden it starts acting super weird, freezes, or just randomly just shuts down? And out of nowhere you just start hitting and clicking every possible button on the keyboard, right? Realizing you're just making it like super worse. Well, I've been there, I've done that. It's really frustrating, trust me. Which is why I switched from Windows to a Mac. It's probably one of the best decisions I ever made. Today, hi you guys. Today I'm going to talk about the different Macs and how is it used in our society now, like 2013. First off, the different Macs. There's a few different Apple products out there. Well, there's a tons of Apple products, but I'm mainly speaking about the computers. There's a MacBook Air. There's a MacBook Pro. And also there's an iMac. And also there's the Mini Mac. I'm going to speak a little bit about those four things. Those four types of computers. First off, MacBook Air. Well, to sum it up, MacBook Air and MacBook Pro, they're pretty much the same thing. The only real super difference is MacBook Airs are just a lot thinner. They're a lot thinner. They're like paper thin, sort of. Like if you stack about 5 to 6 pages together, maybe a little bit more, just a little estimate, then that's how much a MacBook Air weighs. The difference between the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro, well, a Pro is just a lot more thicker. They're like a mini small book, to be exact, like this thick. Well, the Pro basically just has more hard drive space. It has the same battery life, does the same things as a MacBook Air. The only thing difference is MacBook Pro just has more hard drive space and maybe more gigahertz and those different things. So MacBook Air and MacBook Pro basically pretty much the same thing, just different memory, different hard drive space. It's pretty much, to sum it up, an iMac is, well, is a lot more different. Well, an iMac is basically the desktop. When you think of a desktop, you think of, oh, you know, it has the monitor, it has the keyboard, and it has a tower, you know, where you put your CDs and your USBs and all that good stuff. Well, an iMac is just the monitor itself, just a big old monitor, and it's installed inside with the hard drive. Basically, the tower and the monitor are inside, it's just one big box. So basically, if you ever buy an iMac, you take it out of the box and it's just a big old 25-inch screen, maybe even bigger, and that's it. And just plug in your keyboard and your mouse and you're ready to go. And the Mini Mac is for those who can't really afford like a real Mac. It's like you just plug it in to your old to your already Windows computer, or you can even plug it into your flat screen, LCD screen, and just have your own Mac. They all range. MacBooks, they're about $1,000 and over. iMacs, about $2,000 and over. Mini Macs, they're probably the most cheapest. They're about maybe $600 and till maybe $800. Just depends how much memory you want and things like that. Also, how are Macs used in our society today? Well, gentlemen, let me just tell you how they're used. First off, they're used in major motion picture films. All the great movies you see, all the super great movies, action movies, all that good stuff, it's because directors have used Mac, producers have used a Mac. Secondly, photography, Macs. Music production, Macs. To go a little bit more into detail of these three subdivided points, major motion picture films. First off, when you buy an Apple computer, it automatically comes with this super awesome application called iMovie. iMovie is just for those beginners, you know, to create semi-professional short videos, or if you want, you can make movies if you're into that good stuff, like I am. It's amazing. But to be honest, Hollywood, maybe more than half of Hollywood, all the directors. I'm not speaking from super experience here, but what I've read and what I've seen of people, rookie directors, they all use Macs. Why? Because they're super quick, and it comes with iMovie. Also, Apple won an Emmy Award for inventing Firewire and Final Cut Pro X. Alright, if you don't know what those applications are, they're probably the best movie editing, making slash awesomeness applications made only for Mac to make super sweet movies. For instance, the company called Pixar, which makes a lot of cartoon type of movies, animation movies, they all use Macintosh, Apple like MacBook Pros for their editing and their awesome creations we see in the silver screen. So there's that. Also, photography. If you're whatever photographer, you would definitely not use a Windows. The first thing you would go is to a Mac. A MacBook was created to be for those artsy, super awesome music talented people. So if you're some kind of photographer, all photographers nowadays use a MacBook, some kind of Apple computer. Because why? Again, we go back. When you buy an Apple computer, it comes from stock. It comes from stock with this application called what is it? iPicture. I forgot. I gotta double check. But it already comes with an editing, a really good photography picture editing program. You can't beat it. But if you really want to go bigger, everybody knows what Photoshop is. Everybody uses Photoshop. All the magazines you see is Photoshop. Used with what computer? MacBooks. Speaking from experience, because I'm not a huge photographer, but I'm pretty okay, and I use a Mac personally. They're super quick, super user friendly, and they're just awesome all itself. Like I could be editing 5 different pictures at the same time while I'm editing this video. It will never freeze on me. Also, lastly, music production. All the major producers, music producers, singers, everything that has to do with music, they're using a MacBook. DJs, live DJs, you look at them, you look at their table with their turntables, they're using a MacBook. Why? Because you're quick. If your computer freezes in a live show, think about it, in a live show in front of thousands and thousands of people, that's really embarrassing. So you want a reliable computer that will not freeze on you when you're doing all kinds of crazy mixes and adding this sound in front of live people. When you're DJing, you don't want that. You don't want it to freeze. You want it to keep going and going. You know what I'm saying? So this is why they use MacBooks, because also, I forgot to mention, it comes with this application from stock as well called GarageBand for those beginners who want to create, their own beats and, any kind of music production. It's not the best one, like I said, but it's pretty good for those who are starting in the music business. So basically, MacBooks are just the key computer if you don't want any hassles. MacBooks are the computers that need the least maintenance ever. Think about it. All these IT people, they're employed because a lot of companies still use Windows, and it takes at least 10 IT people to, tons and tons of IT professionals to keep up to date with a Windows. Where have you seen an Apple, an Apple tech? No, because Apples don't really crash. They don't get viruses, because hackers don't really want to, spend their time creating new code to shoot for Apple. A lot of people in the world don't really have Apple computers, mainly because they're really expensive. So they go to Windows because it's the cheapest. You can find a Windows computer for maybe $400 if you're freaking lucky. But Apple computers range $1,000. Not many people have $1,000 just to spend on a computer. But let me just tell you, it's super worth it. In conclusion, I want to say that I spoke about the different types of Macs and how is it used in our society. So basically, it is up to you which type of computer you are going to use. It all depends what kind of work you want to do. If you just want to do business and create worksheets and type and do homework, then I suggest just stays with a Windows. But if you want to be more artsy, making movies, editing photographs, making music, then I would definitely go with a Mac. It's well worth it. I have one. I've had it for 2 years. I haven't had a problem yet. The battery, let me just tell you, it lasts for at least 10 hours straight using it. So personally, Apple has made my life so much easier. I don't have to struggle. As soon as I open it, bing, it works perfectly. I love it. So thank you very much. Thanks for listening to me. Have a good day.